Hello and welcome to the Funkenstein Wrestling Roundup. My name is Babs, and thank you again for joining me for another episode. Tonight, my guest is going to be Rude Boy Riley. He'll be joining us at 10:15, so about 15 minutes. But first, we're going to talk about some of the biggest news that's going around in wrestling as we're waiting to talk with him about his career, upcoming documentary, and what the future holds. So first, let's go through some of the biggest stories and current stories that are going around the wrestling world. The biggest news that broke today, actually, was Roman Reigns' suspension. Apparently, he violated the wellness policy. It's his first time, so it's only for 30 days. Based on what happened at Money in the Bank, I kind of believe that maybe they knew about this ahead of time, and that his title loss was orchestrated for that reason. Because, again, they take the wellness policy so seriously, as they should. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects him coming up, or if it does at all, especially considering the fact that, everyone's been waiting for the big Shield feud, now that Seth Rollins has just returned. So we'll see how that affects him, but that's kind of the biggest news coming out of that. There's not a lot of details. Everyone's being kind of quiet and just kind of letting it settle, and he's taking suspension, and that's about that. So not a lot of drama going into that, other than the fact that it actually happened. Now, the next news, of course, being Money in the Bank, was just on Sunday. I did get a chance to watch it, and I really liked the show overall. It was really entertaining. I think it's great. I did get the network, so it's really nice, just to be able to watch those. I think it's worth it for $10, just to be able to check out the pay-per-views. Definitely worth it. I really enjoyed the tag team match. I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. And those four teams, the four teams that were involved, Enzo and Cass, the Vaudevillains, the Club, New Day, all really entertaining in different ways. A lot of fun. I particularly really love Enzo and Big Cass. I think they're just so fun. The Vaudevillains are a really cool team. They definitely have a gimmick and character. I love the entrance and watching that. I just think they're really cool and kind of really, really unique. The Club, what can you say about the Bullet Club? Gallows and Anderson, what can you say? Just very cool bringing that Japanese sort of strong style into it. And the New Day, they're also still a lot of fun, trying to keep it fresh. And so far they've had a pretty nice reign. Definitely long. I think they've passed a year. I think just yesterday, I think they just passed a year as being tag team champions. So it's kind of like, wait, what? I couldn't believe it's gone that long. But so it was a really great match. There was a lot of chemistry and a lot of different feuds I'd like to see come out of that. So it was a good match. I also enjoyed AJ Styles and John Cena. I thought AJ had better matches with Roman Reigns, but Cena's just coming off injury, so there might be some, ring rust for him coming back. But I really enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a really great match. And Cena tends to step it up when it's a big fight. He tends to give, really kind of rises to the top and gives a little more effort. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The Money in the Bank match was good. I really enjoyed the promo going into it with Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, and Alberto Del Rio. Thought it was a lot of fun bantering back and forth. I'm definitely looking forward to a Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho feud. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think the promos will be great. I think the matches will be too. So I think that's just going to be a great thing. The match itself was great. And it was fun to see everyone get their spotlight. And I kind of figured Ambrose was going to win, just based on the fact Seth Rollins was back and everything going on. But it still was enjoyable to watch. And, so I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good one this year. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, that was a good match. I mean, Roman Reigns, to be honest, much people hate on him, and there was you can't wrestle chance or whatever, but I think he's had some really good matches, and I thought his match with Seth Rollins was really great, especially with Rollins coming back from the injury. He looked really good, and it was just enjoyable. So I thought I think it was great. I felt there was a little too many rough bumps. There was a ref bump in AJ Styles and Cena, and then a ref bump in this match. I thought that was a little too much, but it still was enjoyable. It didn't really take too much away from it. But I also enjoyed watching the Dean Ambrose cash-in. That was very, very cool to see. It's kind of nice to see that. Something a little different, a guy from a different background, from a deathmatch background, giving a chance on the WWE to do what he does and to show he can wrestle. And that he can bring something into the product and actually be giving a chance to run with the title. So very, very cool to see. So I thought that was great. And going into Battleground, which is coming up, I'm hoping to see Rollins and Ambrose. Hopefully Ambrose will retain. It's going to set up a big, triple threat match, I imagine, at SummerSlam between the Shield. I would like to see Enzo and Cass take on the New Day. I think that would just be entertaining, and the build-up would be, worth watching Raw alone. You know what I mean? To catch those bits. I think that would be really entertaining. I'd like to see the Intercontinental Championship. I'd like to see The Miz take on Sami Zayn, with Sami Zayn winning. I think he's building his popularity. I think he would really benefit from an IC title run. I think it would really launch him to a new level. The Miz is not a bad champion, but I just, I feel like it's just time for Sami Zayn to kind of step up. Also, too, I'd like to see for the U.S. title, I'd like to see Rusev versus Cesaro, just because the power matchup would just be amazing to watch. Again, Owens and Jericho I'd like to see. And again, I'd like to see Cena and Styles again, a second time. I think that we kind of scratched the surface of what those guys can do. And I think there's more that we could see out of those two competing. Over in TNA, looks like the Hardys are locked in an interesting feud, and they're kind of reinventing that with some interesting things. I feel so bad because they have such a great roster, so much talent, but they continuously have issues, and they don't seem like they can get the ball rolling. Just a week or two ago, having issues with Pop TV and their broadcast. It's really a shame, and they really need to just, I don't know what to do in order to get them back on track. I mean, even things that kind of set them apart from WWE, that made them kind of popular. For example, the Knockouts division, which was something that at one point had set them apart. Something that really they excelled in and was really great. But now with the women's title, and the new women wrestlers that have come up, they don't have that special quality anymore. The women in WWE could go toe-to-toe with the Knockouts. No problem. So they really need to find something that makes them different again, and really they have to reinvent themselves. Ring of Honor, of course, Ring of Honor is like that old standby, like it's always reliable. You always know it's going to be really, decent. It might not be the most exciting thing, and you may have seen some of the matches a few times, but it's going to be reliable, and it's going to be something that is going to be a good show. Coming up Friday is Best in the World. Jay Lethal, who is coming up on 1 year as being the Ring of Honor champion, is taking on Jay Briscoe for the title. Bobby Fish is taking on Dalton Castle for the TV title. I think that's going to be really interesting. I like Bobby Fish, actually, but I'm really pulling for Dalton Castle. I think it's time that he was given a title and he runs with it. The Addiction's going to take on the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles. That should be good, because just all four of those guys know each other very well, and they're just all four very talented wrestlers. BJ Whitmer and Steve Corino are going to fight without honor. I feel like those two guys, they're just going to fight forever. It's just something that's like this weird staple of Ring of Honor is that BJ Whitmer and Steve Corino are always going to fight. Now, Moose is going to team up with the War Machine to take on the Elite. And that's going to be a 6-man Tornado tag team match. So that should be exciting. Moose is really kind of just skyrocketing lately. And then also in singles action, there are 3 singles matches. Mark Briscoe is taking on Roderick Strong. Kyle O'Reilly is taking on Kambatachi. And then ACH is taking on Silas Young. So that kind of rounds out the card. So that's coming up this Friday. It's Best in the World. CZW, on the CZW front, just a few weekends ago, it was Tournament of Death. Congratulations to Ricky Shane Page, who won the tournament. Hopefully now he gets a roster spot. He actually defeated Matt Tremont in the finals, and Matt had won in 2015. So it was a big win, and especially with Matt being the CZW champion, that's a huge, huge win for Ricky Shane Page. Also, too, I heard about the literal burial of DJ Hyde by Zandig. Zandig, from what I understand, is back in control of CZW. So it was kind of interesting, kind of symbolic, and literal, sort of burial. So I thought that was a really interesting spot. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens now that Zandig's back in control of CZW. See if it kind of continues in the vein that's been continuing, or if the ultraviolence becomes more of the focus. That's Zandig's bread and butter. I went and did see the tournament of for Survival. So we'll see what happens with CZW. That should be interesting now that Zandig's back in charge. On Point, coming up is the Survival of the Sickest, which is their first deathmatch tournament. It's happening on July 16th. So some really great names in that. Devin Moore, Connor Claxton, Mark Angel, Tremont, Danny Havoc, who just won the Zandig Death Match tournament. Jeff Cannonball, Jimmy Lyon, Louis Ramos, and Drew Blood. So a really nice field of competitors. There's going to be some really interesting matches and stipulations. And I'm going to talk about more about that as it comes up next month. So, but that's just kind of a quick overview coming up on July 16th. Also, too, Hustle Hardcore Organization, their debut, It Was All a Dream, was a success. I heard the show did very well, so I wanted to congratulate them on that debut, Matt Tremont and the individuals, the roster, and everyone involved with that show on a great debut. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it on DVD. There were definitely matches that I wanted to see, and I did miss it. I was at Excellence. So like I said, I'm really looking forward to checking out the Hustle Hardcore Organization, and getting word on when their show will be available. So again, congratulations to them on a successful debut. And of course, getting to Excellence, which was running the same weekend. We had 2 shows. One was on Friday, one was on Sunday, Flea and Tick. Big news coming out of that is Icarus and Oleg the Usurper join Hallowicked, Grand Akuma, and the Boar Moldova in qualifying for the Excellence Championship Series. The winner of the championship series will become the first Excellence champion. So there are 3 more spots currently in the series. Right now, Blind Rage and Smiley only need 1 more win to qualify. So they're very, very close. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to get those points at Excellence's next event, which is coming up. It's called Claws and Paws. It's the Fight for Independence 3. That's coming up on July 9th. So we're going to be back to the regular Saturday night show. So it should be interesting to see if they have an opportunity and get those wins to qualify for the tournament. Some other highlights that came out of Flea and Tick. Grand Akuma versus Smiley. That was a great match. One Night Only and Too Many Cooks wrestled on both shows. And they traded off wins and losses. So now no longer are they undefeated, but they lost to each other. So I don't know if that actually kind of still makes them undefeated somehow. I'm not sure if that's how that logic works or not. There was definitely there was an NWA and WCW Tag Team Vitals involved. There was a little bit of Starrcade going on. So it was 2 very entertaining matches with 2 very talented teams. So they are definitely worth checking out. The videos will be up, of course, on Excellence's YouTube channel. So, when those come up, definitely get those a look and definitely check those out. And also, too, there was great women's action. Karen Q returned to Excellence. She's becoming very popular. Vanity is fierce as always. And also Lady Excellence Deanna Perrazzo joined us on Sunday. She took on Vanity in a really great match. So some excellent women's matches happened during the shows as well. Also, too, we saw the debut of the Breakfast Club, which is Francis Kip Stevens and the Abominable CPA. I'd never seen the CPA, but I had seen Francis Kip Stevens before in Chikara. He had actually taken on Cobalt. So it was kind of nice to see him again. It had been a few years since I'd gotten to check him out. So it was cool. It was a fun tag team, and hopefully those guys, the Breakfast Club, hopefully they'll be back. I know that the fans really enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys again. So for more information on Excellence, I know there's going to be more announcements for the July 9th show for Claws and Paws. You can check out Twitter, which is Excellence PW, or you can go onto Facebook and search for Excellence Pro Wrestling. And also, too, check out the YouTube page. You can check out all the matches for this year have been placed on there free for you to watch. So if you're looking for some great wrestling action, something you want to try and check out, definitely please, give us a look. So definitely search for Excellence Pro Wrestling on YouTube. You'll find our channel. And again, check out all the action live. So we're just about at 15 after. So what we'll do is we're going to go to commercial. We want to support our sponsors who allow us to continue to run Damage 365 Radio. So again, enjoy these commercials, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes, and I should have Rude Boy Riley on the line, and then we'll talk a little bit about his career, his upcoming documentary, just everything he's got going on right now. So bear with us, and we'll be back in 2.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hello, ladies. The Big Valboski here, and you're listening